I'm live. Hi, everybody. What's up? It's stretch time now, baby. Let's get started, shall we? Whoa. You know what? I'm gonna watch the video this time. Inhale to a flat back. You can support your hands. You can let them dangle. Yeah. We're doing stretch today, baby. That's right. I feel low. Look at that, I'm already warm. After one sun salutation, I'm already a warm guy. And then we got two more. It's just showing up. That's all this first month is. It's just showing up. Just showing up, and so we're here. We're doing our full body stretch routine, which is something I have not been doing. Full body stretch, full body stretch. One more sun salutation. Oh, let's fight. Wah! How's everybody doing today, huh? How y'all doing? On this fine Friday day. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday, everybody. How's everybody doing on their Friday? I hope you're on trampoline, man. That's fun. You like climbing? I love climbing. I'm only doing routines as of now, new workout programs, because I want to get buff. I want to get big. I want to get relatively big. Highly functional, relatively big. And relative to my own past. I've never really been that big. I want to get focused. I want to get strong. Functional fitness. You'll be seeing me do tons of calisthenic movements, push-ups, body rows, lots of basics. In this year of 2026, I've kind of been doing these workouts throughout the year of 2025. I just haven't been like super like, you know, I hadn't been like on a schedule, so to speak. Like I have like a loose schedule that I'm like, oh, it would probably be good for me to do push-ups here and there. And, you know, now I'm like, okay, I want to get big. I want to get ripped. And the only way that I can do that is if I regulate it with the schedule and keep with that schedule. And then also, I think it's super duper important that you adjust with what's necessary. So your schedule can't just be stuck in stone. What if like you're on borderline starting to injure yourself with your movements and you decide not to change them because they're on the schedule? You know, and then what happens if you injure your shoulder or something like that, or your wrist, which I've done both of those things. I've injured my knee recently, actually. Which is kind of why I've been lazy this last month or so. You know, I want to get ripped. I want to get muscular. The way that I would define it. And I think most people would probably define it relatively the same way, but you know, I'm not really a gym bro. I'm more of a functional fitness type of guy. I don't mind doing weird exercises and weird things, as you can tell, as you can see. You know, if I'm being honest, I wear toe shoes, man. And I've been wearing toe shoes since 2009. So yeah, I don't give a shit what I look like in terms of like the shoes that I wear or like the clothes that I like. Look at what I'm wearing. I've been having this shirt and this pants for like years of my life now. I don't care. I care about what I can do. That's what I care about. That's power. What can I do given the limitation of the physical universe, being a physical entity? Physical entity that interacts with the physical universe and stuff. You know, what can I do? One more. Doing some forearm stretches here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what are your goals for 2026? I want to hear them. Drop them in the comments. What do you have a goal for 2026? What exactly do you want to do? And how can I help you attain it? I don't really care what it is. What is it? You want to be a YouTube streamer. I don't really I'm not like a famous YouTube streamer. I'm honestly getting started on my own YouTube career myself, you know? But I mean, like, that doesn't mean I can't help, you know? And same thing with you. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, there's a thing that monks do. Like, I think it's like the Shaolin monks. They do this thing where they go to the village and they're not asking for handouts. They provide an opportunity for the villagers to give under their own free will and donate to them. Very much like what churches do. And they also do their own donations. They also do their own like community service sort of stuff. Serving and helping, like, I care about health, and I work out, almost every day. So why don't I just create a YouTube channel and at least that way I can be an example. So at least that way, I can show a way of being a healthy human. It's not necessarily about getting big or getting strong. While that may be my goal for this year and for the next 5 years, that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't create content about health or spew health out of my freaking mouth on a consistent basis. Even though my goals are, because I do want to get big. I do want relatively big. I don't want to be so big that I can't move. Movement is prime importance to me. Functionality is prime importance to me. Longevity is prime importance to me. Looking big is cool. Not necessarily prime importance, right? Get some blood flow. Get some blood flow to these shoulders. Contracting these shoulders and relaxing the neck and everything else. Just trying to put all of the tension in my shoulders so that blood flow flows to the shoulders. Because what we're doing next is a whole bunch of shoulder stretchings, arm stretches. Get some blood flow in the shoulders, which is like the major joint of your arms. I mean, I guess you have two major joints, the elbow and the shoulders. I suppose you also have wrists. And then obviously joints in your fingers and all this stuff, but that's why I said major, right? This is the biggest joint that you have for your arms, shoulders. Get the blood flowing, get the blood flowing. Flowing, get the blood flowing, get the blood flowing, get the blood flowing. Oh. Breathe. And let it go. That's nice. I was just going to go live Thursday, Saturdays, Tuesdays. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. That's what I was going to do, but I'm doing extras today and every day. Why not just go live? Why not? May as well. So, hence we're here. I would be doing this if I weren't live right now anyway. This first week is going to be stretching. I might implement a part of my other exercises, the activities part, next week. It might be next week too. But I've at least set a schedule for myself so that for the next 3 weeks, I'm doing neck stretch and walks. And I'm starting light. Starting very light. It's just about getting started. It's just about being here. It's just about doing the damn thing. Set a schedule. It doesn't have to be strenuous. It doesn't have to be very difficult. It doesn't have to be high intensity. Just something that's slightly outside of your comfort zone that you can do tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I like stretching because it limbers up all my body. This stretch that I'm doing is a full body stretch, so it's gonna limber up every part of my body. It's a whole hour of total body stretching, and I really need that for like my lower back and my hips and I mean just everything, my shoulders, just everything else, okay? I know some people are like, well, you're just stretching, you're not gonna get strong. Well, no shit, but I am gonna get pretty limber. I've been doing this stretch routine for years and I am pretty limber. I mean, I'm pretty limber, you know? I'm pretty limber. Can sit here in this Asian squat pretty good for hours. Maybe not hours, but like, I'm gonna sit in an Asian squat for years. I go from hours to years. Now, I mean, I can sit in an Asian squat for pretty long. Like maybe it was like 5 or 6 months ago, I hurt my knee. And so like doing the Asian squat kind of sucks right now. Well, it did for the last 6 months, but this last month it's been relaxing a little bit. So I can do the Asian squat for longer now. But dude, I don't sit on toilets, man. I squat on top of toilets. You know, I wear toe shoes. You know, I'm a naturalist. I've done, the only drugs I've ever done was like shrooms and, I mean, I guess I've tried a couple of things, but not really like something that I enjoy doing. Marijuana and shrooms are really the only thing that I've ever enjoyed doing. Never tried cocaine, never tried ecstasy. One time I got convinced to do ketamine. Oh, don't do ketamine, it's terrible, it's stupid, the dumbest thing. Don't ever do that, don't do drugs, man. But, however, I would also caution that you shouldn't do it every day either. Anyways. Oh, well, Dan, I want to stay away from blanket statements like that, like you shouldn't do this. Come on, everyone's an individual. That is going to be my main message, is that everybody's an individual and we all have to find our way. And it's not that bad to try things and figure things out, you know? You don't have to do research to figure things out. You can, and I would recommend it. Is it helpful to every person in the world? I don't know. All right, let's do some rulers, yeah? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of blanket statements. You know, stuff that says like, oh, it's not this way, or, you know, meat is good for you, or fruit is good for you. Like, no, there's such a thing as biochemical individuality. We're all different. You may have like a template or a guideline of what might be good for you, but it's no guarantees. And ultimately, you have to try it and figure it out for yourself. Because there are things that I cannot eat that my significant other can. There are things that she cannot eat that I can. And this isn't just a theme that I've done this for, like, this is a theme that's been in my life. This is a theme that I've been aware of my whole life. We're all different. Everybody's different. Nobody's the same. And so I'm just not a big fan of blanket statements. With that being said, am I a perfect human? No. Hopefully I can alleviate
the idea that I'll ever say a blanket statement again, but I don't think that I can. I think that I might say blanket statements from here to there, and then upon hearing about how I said this or that, and being shown that I said this or that, I may alter what I'm saying in a different way, but I'm not a big fan of blanket statements. So, you can stretch, I think. I can stretch, maybe I'll say it that way. I can stretch, as if it's a personal experience. And so, that's the thing. I can stretch every single day. I like stretching every day. Am I getting stronger? Well, not really. Am I getting more limber? I'm staying limber. And unless I push myself past degree or range of motion in my stretch where I'm actually pushing myself past a certain comfort zone, I'm probably not going to get more flexible. But it definitely helps for me to stay limber. Movement is an important thing for your health, just in general. And that is a blanket statement. I'm sorry. It's kind of, and then I do this other thing where I try and think of a situation where it's not helpful. But you know what? I'm not even gonna try and figure out a way that moving isn't helpful. I can think of weird situations, but you're on a landmine or something like that. Movement would not be helpful in that situation. You probably shouldn't move, right? That's a ridiculous situation to be in, right? But so to say that you should move. But when we're talking about health in general, okay, so let me say it this way. I think the reason why I would say that I think movement is helpful in making a healthy body, and this will be the main reason that I always come back to. But your lymphatic system does not have a pumping station. Your circulatory system has a pumping station. You have your heart to pump your blood throughout your body, your circulatory system. Your lymphatic system, which is your network of lymph nodes throughout your entire body, which contain your white blood cells, which are your immune response cells, so your immune system. Your lymphatic system doesn't have a pumping station. And the way that your body moves white blood cells throughout your body is you move. You have to pump your muscles. You have to move your muscles around. You have the highest concentrations of lymph nodes in your throat region and in your lower back. And again, I'm saying blanket statements. Sorry. I don't mean that several different people who have been dissected, right? You can see that their lymph nodes are in those locations. Does that mean that your lymph nodes are in those locations? You make that determination. I would say probably. Personally, I would say probably. It's time for the sexy moves of the stretch. Now we're doing the cat stretch, the cat cow, or whatever you want to call it. This is this is yeah.
Stretch, stretch, stretch. Oh man, you know, I forgot the music. I'm gonna need music next time. It's time for some glute stretching, baby. Do like 2 or 3 breaths here. Man, this glute stretch is the best. I'm just gonna take a few moments and just breathe. I was let his foot behind his head. What? Ooh. Breathe through the sensation. Breathe through the sensation. Relax. Relax. Can I put both of my feet behind my head? Yes, I can. Am I going to show you right now? I'm not your fucking puppet. I'm going to do what I want, dang it. I'm not looking at the camera, right? I mean, I am now, but like, the TV's right behind the camera, so. Can you Asian squat like this? Can you? Short answer is yes, with time and work. And unless, of course, you're young and you still have your flexibility, you need to get on that. You need to practice that. And what I mean by that, quite literally, very simple. All you got to do, if you're like, can get down to like an Asian squat like this or something, do it. Do it more. Do it more until you can get your butt all the way down and then get your heels on the ground. And that's going to take flexibility in here, flexibility in pretty much everywhere. Flexibility's in your fingers. You know, I'm a nonsense, no nonsense type of person. What does that mean? That means I don't know what the fuck I'm saying half the time. Nah, that's not true. I mean, before a thought is complete, I guess. Maybe I'm just speaking out of my mouth. But that's fine. It's whatever. These are my lives, dude. These are unfiltered, unscripted. You know, I do my lives here, man. You should be working out. Put this on in the background or something. Start doing some stretches. You know? You don't have to do crazy extreme intensities. Crazy hard work. You can just do something that's a little more strenuous than what you're used to doing. And if you're a couch potato, stretching is the perfect thing. Because it's low intensity, It can be difficult, and it's only as difficult as you make it. And you can do it every single day and recover from it and continue to do it every single day. That's why I like stretching at the beginning of like a workout routine. Like if I'm coming from being sedentary, which is what's happening right now. I'm coming from being sedentary for the last like month, I would say. This last month I've kind of just been chilling. If you're coming from being sedentary, then going into doing stretches on a daily basis, which is what I'm doing. I like this. It's a 1 hour stretch routine that covers your entire body. And you do a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, that's cool. You know, you can do it at home in the safety of your home and nobody has to watch, you know. Or you could just not give a fuck and do it wherever the hell. You know, but you can do stretches every single day. And I know, I'm saying blanket statements. At the beginning of this, I was like, I hate blanket statements. But this is just my point of view from what has worked for me. I'm not saying that you can do it. I'm not saying that you need to do it. I'm saying you can do it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You can do this. It's possible. Probably. You know, I don't really know your situation. There's 8 billion people on this earth. I only know, like, my situation and really, like, my family's situations, mostly, kind of. So you may have certain circumstances that prevent you from doing something, or I don't know. So you think that maybe what's happening is, like, never mind. You too can be exercising right now if you wanted. You too can create a workout routine that is not that strenuous, but that you can do every single day. And at least it's better than sitting on the couch. Like, come on. Let's get up. Let's do something. This is better than sitting on the couch. Yeah, sure. I bet you a whole bunch of gym bros are probably going to be like, man, you're not doing anything for yourself. So your argument is that it would be better for me to sit on the couch? Okay, well, my argument to that is that you are not experiencing my body. And what I am experiencing is that blood flow is happening. I feel it. I have to breathe a little bit more because I'm a little bit uncomfortable with all these different stretches, which is good. It's good to get more oxygen. I feel that is a good thing. I feel getting more oxygen is a good thing. I feel alleviated from the stressors of not having anything that I'm doing, or like doing something with my life, or I feel alleviated from the stressors of like the pain in my lower back, especially when I do this, or like the pain anywhere in my body. You want to say that there's no benefits to stretching? Honestly, if you're saying that, man, I don't want to say mean stuff, so I'm not gonna. That's nice. Man, I'm telling you, man, if you're coming from being sedentary and you want to start a new workout program, but you don't want to start with let's say you want to start with like something extreme, but you know yourself, you're going to get started, it's going to be too hard, and then
you're gonna quit because it's too much pain.
It's too difficult, or it's too hard. Stretches, man, stretch. Stretch can always be your default. You can get a stretch routine that is an hour long that stretches your whole body. I right now am doing P90X, the original P90X, the X stretch that comes from that. It's an hour long, full body stretch routine that you can do. Man, I wish I had the rights to that because I would just give it away. I have it in a JPEG.
I have all of P90X in JPEG, so I could literally upload it to the internet, and then it would just be free to everybody, but I would probably get sued out the wazoo. So I'm not doing that, obviously. But I wish I had the rights to P90X, and that way I would just give away the X stretch for free. Because if everyone had X stretch, oh my God. You have one workout that you can do at home where no one's watching you, and you can try all these different workouts and movements, and they have 3 people in the video that are doing 3 different ways of doing the same movement, and
It's just the bee's knees, man. I got super limber from doing P90X for years and years and years, the X stretch. I agree with the ideas of, not all of the ideas of P90X. I mean, muscle confusion, like, you know, I grasp the concept of what they're trying to talk about.
it's like you get used to a certain thing, and then you switch it up to something else, but still working the same muscles. You know, I think that works. For me, that works. I've done P90X full run through about twice. And every single time I got bigger and I got stronger. So for me, P90X does work. But, you know, for somebody else, it may not. And there is a aspect of reality, all of this, the fitness industry, the medical industry, just everything that has to do with humanity. Every industry that has to do with humanity, there's an aspect of reality that we're not talking about. And, you know, if I'm being honest, I believe a lot of people would say it's a lot of hoo-ha, a lot of pseudoscience, but the mind is involved, and I think that the mind matters. I think that if you believe certain things, they'll be more effective. I would take a person who that's a nice one. I would take a person, the version of yourself that believes in what you're doing, beating the version of yourself that doesn't believe in what you're doing, and you're both doing the exact same thing. I would bet on the person who believes in what they're doing winning over the person who does not believe in what they're doing winning. I doubt that I think that 9 times out of 10, that person that believes would win. that believes in what they're doing, that they would win. And I think that mind, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, consciousness, affects reality. I think that that's the case. And I think I have a very unique perspective. I used to have febrile seizures. I seized. I've had maybe 13 to 15 or so seizures in my lifetime. And every single time it felt like from the people that lived, that existed on this physical plane, i.e. the EMTs, the doctors, every single time I'd come back to this plane of existence, right, I would wake up, right, from being unconscious. They would say I was unconscious. But I was experiencing stuff. I wasn't not experiencing something. And one of the main, and that really drove me to understand that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. All of the adults, I was 4 years old when I started having my seizures. And it was about 6, 7, or 8 where I started like really understanding that like nobody on this physical plane knows what the fuck is going on, knows what they're doing, knows what is or what isn't. Because these people are saying that I'm unconscious, not conscious, right? And from a perspective of you being awake and looking at a person who is asleep, you could say that they're unconscious.
But that's not true. They're still experiencing something. You don't know what their experience is. For all I know, I am the only conscious being on this earth, and every single thing around me could quite literally be a fabrication of my own consciousness. And since I'm conscious, the fabrication that I manifest could quite literally be as conscious as I am, or seemingly from my perspective, but I don't know that anyone else is conscious. I believe that other people are conscious. You know, I do believe, I, Drew Marshall, do believe that other people are conscious, but I don't know that other people are conscious. And that's where I stand. That's where I sit. That's where I exist. I think that people don't really know what reality is, and they don't really know. But they say this word a lot, like, I know this, I know that. And I am not, I do that too, you know, I'm human. But I think that it's important to keep an open mind, is what I'm trying to say. That we don't really know this reality like that. The amount of stuff that we know versus the amount of stuff that we don't know is so gargantuan. I think that there's so much more that we don't know than we give credit for. We constantly are giving pats on our backs about like how much we know. And it's like, no, we don't know that much. And people are constantly arguing to the death. Like, okay, maybe not to the death, but like they're arguing and arguing and arguing and about like what reality is. And it's like, I don't think that any one of us physical beings on this earth are gonna know. I'm not so sure that that's something that we can do. I think that this reality is kind of like an orchestration of consciousness. You know, so it's kind of like so that it's a manifestation of an experience to see what we really are. And so like an infinite being, imagine, if you will, an infinite being who can do anything and is everything, and there is nothing outside of this infinite being, and you know, this being knows that it's the only thing and that there's no other being, there's nothing outside of it. And I mean, even then, I'm not even 100% sure it knows that it's, I don't know. We're talking about God and stuff like that now. And like spiritual stuff. Anyway, whatever. Let's get back to stretching. Who knows, maybe on this channel I'll talk about spiritual stuff more. But that's for a later date. We're just trying to establish ourselves as a person who knows somewhat about health and is really kind of more along the lines of like a cheerleader and a spearhead for being healthy. So that's kind of the point. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. We'll get into spiritualism and all that stuff later on. I'll definitely be making a lot of videos about spiritualism later on too. I think that that is an aspect of health. Body, mind, spirit. Body, mind, spirit. Yeah. We're getting real close here. We're getting real close to the end. I'm gonna do some kicking here.
Let me do ourselves a happy baby. Yes, I've modified. I understand that happy baby is like this, but I have modified it so that it can get an even deeper stretch. This is a modification that I need to make for my body. You don't have to follow a person to a T. You can find the modifications for the movements that you're doing to get the results that you're trying to get. So if you're trying to get a deeper stretch in some other muscle group or something like that, in a different muscle group, and it requires you to move your arms a certain way that's outside of the bounds of what the other person's doing, do it. If you want to do that, do it. You would call this our hamstring,
As Tony Horton says.
So hey, if you're, what are your goals for 2026? Put them down in the comments. I want to see them. I want to see what your goals are for 2026. Let me see what your goals are. If you have goals for 2026, throw them down. And I don't care. Like, you can throw down your physical fitness goals or whatever if you want. You can throw down your financial goals. I don't care. Throw down a goal. Just throw down any goal at all. What are your goals? Your true, what you want to do goals. And you don't have to throw all of them down. You can just throw one if you want. You can throw all of them down if you want. I am interested. I want to see what kind of goals people who watch me are having. If you're watching this right now, what are your goals? Put your goals down in the comments for 2026. What are your 2026 goals? I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions. Fuck New Year's resolutions, bullshit, they're temporary, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to change lifestyles. So we're trying to get ourselves to be healthy. And so throw down your goals. Your goal for 2026, your attainable, real life goal that you can attain in 2026. If you stopped procrastinating like you have been, and you actually put in the effort, what are your goals? Put them down in the comments. I want to see. What are your goals for 2026? Your attainable, tangible, real life goals that you can achieve this year if you just stopped lollygagging and actually put in the work. What are the goals? What goal or goals are you trying to attain and be done with 2026? What are your goals? Last year, my goal was to start a YouTube channel and to get 100 subscribers. Guess what? You know what happened? So I started my YouTube channel last year, February 3rd. This channel I started February 3rd of last year. And January 1st, I finally got 102 subscribers on YouTube. So within the year that I started, but also technically, I guess, with the year 2025, I did not match my 100 subscriber goal. But within the year that I started, I did. I started a YouTube channel. I got 100 subscribers on that YouTube channel. Did I go balls to the wall on my YouTube channel? Did I try and treat it like a job? No, I still am not treating it like a job. I should though. I should schedule shit out and I should just do that. And I guess I'm starting slow because this isn't my moneymaker. But eventually I would like for YouTube to be my moneymaker. Like maybe 5 years, 10 years down the road, something like that. So, and the subject matter for which I care deeply about, and if you were to ask me the question,
what is the one thing that you think you could contribute to society that would help society? I think that it would be me constantly spewing that you need to care about your body, you need to care about your mind, and you need to care about your spirit. You need to care about what you are, who you are, and you need to figure out who you are. It is your responsibility to figure out who you are. No one else is going to figure out who you are. No one else can figure out who you are. No one else is living reality through your body, through the lens, through the perspective that you are. So you need to figure out yourself. You need to figure out yourself. And that means, you know what? Let me not say it in a blanket statement kind of way. I was going to say that means that you need to put yourself through the fire. You need to put yourself through challenges that make you question what you are, who you are. You need to be able to answer questions like, what would you do in a fight? Now, if I were to ask any average person who's never been in a fight what you would do in a fight, I can almost guarantee you that your answer that you're going to give me before fight is going to be different from what you would be or what you would do in a fight, and probably your answer is going to be different after the fight. Because you don't really know what you're going to do in a fight until you're in a fight. You have no idea what you're going to do if someone points a gun at your head. You don't know until you've done that. So you need to put yourself through challenges. You need to put yourself through trials. You need to put yourself through the fire. And after your outer shell, metaphorical outer shell, is burnt off, and the jewel that you are, comes out from, like, grows out of the fire, the phoenix that's within you arises, then you might know a little bit more about yourself. I think that is one of the most important things to do, is to know yourself. Oh man, we only got 2 minutes left. Almost done with the full body stretching. I feel good. I feel limber. I feel loose. I feel relaxed. At the end of the video, it says you feel like $1 million. Do I feel like $1 million? No. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good. What does being $1 million feel like? You know?
What are your goals for 2026? I want to know. Leave in the comments what your goals are for 2026. Think about it. And leave in the comments, what are your goals? What are your tangible goals that you can achieve that are measurable for 2026? We did it.
Bonus stretch. That's right. I'm 6'5 3/4. I'm almost 6'6". Almost. 6'5 3/4. Almost 6'6". And I can do the splits, baby. Look at that. Yeah, so I can get those kicks. Get those kicks. So yeah. Whoo! Man. Well, there you go. That's the end of this workout. My full body stretch. Did it. Tomorrow's going to be the same deal. I'm going to do a full body 1 hour stretch again. 3 p.m. I think I'm gonna try and do 3 p.m. every single time I do live. I'm gonna try and do that. But you know, it's the beginning of the year, it's the beginning of a new goal. One of my new goals is to live stream and hopefully make 200 subscribers by the end of this year. So last year I made 100 subscribers. Cool, awesome. I was kind of like lollygagging through that too. So like if I spend this year also lollygagging, I can probably make 100 more subscribers, but if I were to focus on it, I bet you I could probably blow it up, but I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. With that being said, you know, my goal is for YouTube, 100 subscribers, another 100 subscribers for this year. Another goal of mine is, my main goal is to build a workout routine that I've consistently done for an entire year, and by the time 2026 is done, 2027, I'll be going into 2027 with an already established workout routine that, you know, that the workout routine itself does change and alter for the things that are happening with my body and my whole life situation. Like a workout, a working workout routine, that's kind of the goal for 2026. And with the ultimate goal for within the next 5 years being that I'm going to get more and more and more ripped. You know, I want to have like a shredded six pack, you know, I want to have like muscles. Like if we were to look at myself now, I'm not like completely out of shape, right? You know, I want to be ripped, man. I want to have like skin tight and like muscles showing and like veins coming out of my body and stuff like that. And a little bit bigger. And measurable goals. As of right now, I can do about 2 chin-ups. I'm 6'5", almost 6'6", and I'm about 240 pounds. I can do about 2 chin-ups. I want to be able to, at one point in time when I was about 20, I was able to do 12 pull-ups, and that was because I did pull-ups only for about 2 months straight. I want to get back to being able to do like 12 pull-ups. I feel like that'd be fantastic. You know, I'm 35 now. I'm about to be 36. You know, I do feel like cells in my body are moving a little bit slower. But also, you know, like I said earlier, I do think that the mind being involved will either help or deter in that regard. So if I were to jump on the bandwagon and this was all I did, I bet you my cells would probably speed up a little bit, or they would pick up the energy that I'm putting out, is what I'm trying to say. You know, that's just my belief, you know. With that being said, yeah, so those are my goals. Like, I want to be ripped in 5 years. And this next year is really just establishing a full year's worth of working out and live streaming, and hopefully build up to 100 more subscribers by the end of this year. If it's more, cool. You know, if I end up changing and I do put more effort into my videos, cool also. You know, and I'm not gonna, and the other key thing I think is to not beat yourself up if you don't match those goals, but just get back on the wagon. You know, so like if I have like a day where I'm like, I don't want to be doing this, or like I have a week or 2 weeks or even a whole month, even because I've done that to myself before. It's like
I can beat myself up. I've tried that. Doesn't work. Beating myself up, that doesn't really work. That doesn't get me back on the ball. What actually works, I think, is when I negotiate with my subconscious self, my deeper self, my inner ego. You know, when I actually negotiate. So what do you want, ego? What do you need from me so that we can get back on the grind here? You know? So anyways, so yeah, let me know what your goals are. I really do want to know. You know, post that shit. Put that shit on the comments. What are your goals for 2026? What are you going to be doing? What are your measurable goals? Things that you have like written down or something, or you know, measurable, tangible goals. I want to know. So that's the end of this video. That's the end of this workout. That's the end of this live. I'm going to be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. So, and it's just going to be stretch again, you know, and obviously, again, for the first month, we're just acclimating to exercise. That's what we're doing. After the month is over, we'll be doing a little bit more, and a little bit more, and we're just going to tack on a little bit more as we go, you know. But as of right now, you know, it's just acclimating to exercise, and that's what we're doing. So thanks for joining me. If you did, if you didn't, whatever, that's cool. Hope to see you. Peace.